The rebirth of Bronx, from Rio to BMF. This is one of those rare occasions when a single evening restores both respect and leverage to a fighter. Charles Oliveira did not come to Rio just to win. He returned as the Bronx that the US remembers. Bold, cool-headed, and uncompromising. He stopped Mateusz Gamrot not on the judges' scorecards, but in a real fight, where initiative, pressure, and precision are important. And before the crowd had time to catch their breath, he challenged Max Holloway for the BMF title. It was as straightforward as it gets. Loud, clear, with a chance to turn the lightweight division upside down this summer. What happened in Rio, Oliveira didn't let Gamrot drag the fight out over the long haul and took what he needed in the opening minutes. Pace, respect, and space. He knocked his opponent off balance, imposed his exchanges, didn't allow him to get stuck against the fence, and every time Gamrot tried to drag the episode into his usual sticky fight, Charles either broke his position or seized the initiative. No unnecessary frills, working pressure, timing, finishing. This was the Bronx who doesn't ask for permission. What's important is not only how he won, but that he took away Gamrot's main advantage, the confidence that the fight would go according to his plan. After an evening like this, any talk of Charles being past his prime ended on its own. Why was this critical right now? Oliveira has a unique trajectory. He destroyed the favorites, fell, rose, and dictated the terms again. But over time, questions accumulate. Will he be able to withstand the intense pace of 5 rounds? Will he be able to take minutes away from the wrestler? Will he be too open in exchanges? Rio gave a concise answer to everything. He didn't just win. He reclaimed his image as a man who can settle questions in one evening. For the American audience, this is key. Viewers need to feel that this fighter can close the door on issues rather than asking for new chances. Now, Charles is once again one of those who doesn't ask. He chooses. The BMF challenge. Why does Oliveira need this belt? BMF is not a classic division title, but it is real power over the agenda. The belt belongs to someone who doesn't just win, but takes the spotlight for the next quarter. For Oliveira, it's the perfect bridge. You stay in the lightweight division, you don't get stuck in the queue, you get the main event on the American slot, and the right to name the next opponent. He doesn't need a passable fight. He needs an evening that will take him from being one of the pack to being the division's main storyteller. The challenge to Holloway is on point. Style versus style, charisma versus charisma, legacy versus legacy. This main event resonates with both UFC fans and the wider US audience. Why Holloway said yes? Because it's the perfect continuation of his own story. Max is a champion of spectacle. He needs a stage where a lot is decided not only by sport, but also by history. He has already proven that he can rebuild a fight to suit himself, take his opponent out of their comfort zone, and hold their attention for 5 rounds. With Oliveira, he's not in for a boring chess match, but a dangerous, emotionally charged duel where every minute sells the next. And yes, the BMF belt is exactly the case where Max's name enhances the belt and the belt enhances Max's name. It's a win-win for everyone. How the fight could go. A simple map without smart words. Scenario 1. A quick start for Bronx. Charles comes out sharp, picks up the pace, doesn't let Max get into his comfort zone, and chips away at his confidence with combinations and short exchanges near the cage. At this pace, a lot will be decided in the first 10 minutes. If Max doesn't have time to regroup, we'll see an early breakthrough and a chance to finish before the championship rounds. The advantages for Charles are his intensity and pressure. The risks are that if he doesn't finish, he'll have to pay for such a fast start later. Scenario 2. Holloway's distance. Max waits out the initial storm, takes the center, builds volume, and forces Charles to play at a comfortable pace. Such a fight looks like a constant rumble of blows, where every minute without major episodes works in Max's favor. The end of the rounds is his domain, unless Charles consciously takes them. The advantages for Max are control of the pace and the judges' scorecards. The risks are early damage, which changes the plan and reshuffles the cards. Scenario 3. A turning point in the third. The most logical fork in the road for this style of confrontation. The first 2 rounds are a battle for control, and in the third, it becomes clear who has imposed their pace. If Oliveira still has the resources to press at this point, he can reignite the fight and pull ahead. If Max has already shifted the fight into his gear, it will be very difficult to pull him out of it. Where both are strong and vulnerable, in human terms, without jargon, Oliveira is strong when he is first. When he doesn't wait, but goes and forces his opponent to respond to his rhythm. He has that cold courage. He takes risks for the moment and most often takes the moment. His vulnerability is his enthusiasm. When he gets carried away and tries to press where he just needs to regroup for the round, he gives his opponent a chance to come back. Holloway is strong in the long run. He knows how to make the fight flow in his direction. More strikes, more moments, more control of the endings. His vulnerability is the first few minutes against someone who is not afraid to take risks and knows how to turn one episode into an avalanche. If Max misses a big moment at the beginning, his entire plan plan in terms of minutes and volume can fall apart. What is at stake for Oliveira? Victory means the immediate right to name his next fight. It could be a name from the top of the lightweight division or a high-profile cross-division story. The main thing is that he once again becomes the man who dictates the direction. Defeat is not a disaster if the fight turns out to be exciting, but then he will have to come back through dangerous contenders, where the price of a mistake is high. For Holloway, a win is confirmation of his status as a fighter who crosses division lines and draws audiences wherever he goes. A loss is a blow to the momentum of the BMF line, but not to the respect for his name. He always has the choice to return to where he is king of the pace. What this gives the UFC, and why the fight is right now. The organization needs a main event that simultaneously attracts a new audience and strengthens the brand's legacy. Oliveira versus Holloway is a comfortable entry point for viewers who watch numbered tournaments for the excitement, and a bold line for those who follow the divisions. In terms of sports, neither of them needs a long explanation of why they are fighting. In terms of media, the promo writes itself. Two guys who don't know how to be boring are fighting for a belt where the main criteria are courage and a willingness to take the fight on their own terms. It's easy to build a card and a cascade of stories around such a main event. Simple keys to victory without lectures. Charles's key is the first 10 minutes. He needs to take them not only with emotion, but also with the score. Don't give away the end of the rounds. Don't get lost in exchanges where Max has the advantage in volume, but add bright moments and neat finishes to the piggy bank. Max's key is not to pay for the initial storm. The calmer he survives Bronx's entrance, the higher the chance that by the third round the fight will be his. Whoever gets a sense of control early on will have the final leverage. What will happen to Bronx next if Charles wins? He will instantly rise to the level where he chooses. A big fight awaits him, either for the lightweight title or a crossover that is not far behind the title in terms of scope. If he loses, it all depends on how he loses. A bright 5-round fight with equal minutes does not knock him down, but leaves him in the pools of big main events. A dry loss is a step back to a harsh queue with tactical opponents, where each subsequent mistake will cost 6 months. Why this version of Oliveira is dangerous for everyone again, Rio showed not a set of techniques, but more importantly, his psychology. Oliveira once again believes in his pressure and once again does not lose his composure at important moments. He does not argue with the judges and the rules. He makes sure that the necessary minutes are in his hands. This is the core of Bronx, the ability to take the night, not just win fights. When he has this mindset, it's hard for anyone to beat him. Both boxers with volume and those who like to grind out the fight with tedious control. A simple prediction for fights of this type. If the fight goes the distance, the odds will shift in Max's favor. Accumulated minutes and round endings often decide the outcome. If Charles has a big moment in the first 2 rounds, he will pull the fight into his vortex and may finish it early. The most likely window for a decision is the 3rd or 4th round. Either Oliveira will recover after early pressure, or Holloway will take control for good and never relinquish it. What's important for the viewer, this isn't a mathematical problem about ratings. This is one of those rare main events where 2 strong stories collide without filters. Oliveira is going for control of the agenda, Holloway is going for confirmation that his style and courage work at any weight. And whoever wins, the evening will be an event. Either Bronx will return to his status as the man who makes the decisions, or Blessed will secure not only the BMF belt, but also his reputation as the most reliable provider of big nights in the UFC. Final note, Bronx's comeback isn't just about beating Gamrot, it's about getting back to his old self. Bold, cool-headed, and able to shut down questions with one finish. Challenging BMF is the logical next step, where the stakes are simple and clear. And yes, this is exactly the case when the result will benefit not only the winner, but all of us. A clear main event, pure drama, and a chance to see who is really ready to take the wheel when the crowd is roaring and the fight demands a decision right now.